And we are live, and we are going to skip all the B-roll, the countdown, and everything else because we are running a little bit late. We have a lot to get to. So, G-Webs, yes, you did look at your watch, and yes, we were late. Tony had to light up a big old cigar with a Superman on his chest and get going. But before we get into that, let me do some housekeeping things here. If you don't know, I have a new book out. All proceeds will go to my niece who is suffering from brain cancer. You can go to crumpy.com/giants, crumpy.com/giants, and pick up a copy of that. Also, a link to the GoFundMe is at crumpy.com/GFM. And remember, every dollar that we raise from our Patreons goes to little Bella, who is fighting DIPG, which is a really bad form of brain cancer. And if you join for $5 or you give a $5 super chat, which there is, or a $5 donation on GoFundMe, you can get this patch right here. No quarter for tyrants patch, $5. So yeah. So there you have that. All right. We'll get back into more stuff later. I will halfway through. I will go ahead and push that. I see Midnight Range out there and G Webs and everybody else. But let me get to the man of the hour, the biggest name in 2A, everyone's favorite locksmith. The cigar smoking, diversity shooting, 2A for everyone. Simon says it's Tony Simon from New Jersey.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. Thanks for having me on. Thanks to all the people that support us. Thanks to G Webs for kicking butt and finding new ways for us to reach new people all the time. He's got the Indiegogo. Is that what it's called? The Indiegogo 2020 patch going, and that's pretty cool. I reached out.
Really, your patch is in there too.
Heck, I bought one because I have two sets right here, and I figured from 2019. And I'm going to give those away. That's why I got them, is to give them away. But, I wanted to wait until either they weren't able to be had anymore and make it worthwhile to somebody that's not even a patch guy, maybe. But here's like a dozen patches from Second Amendment, advocacy groups that you might not have to start a patch wall, but at least the patch wall has something behind it.
You see that one?
Yep.
It's a little bit better. That one.
Oh, right. I was online and I was checking them out, actually.
Oh, have you seen that one?
Seen that one.
Or that one?
Don't remember that one.
Or this one. This one is actually like a sticker thing that you can stick on your car. And it raises it out, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't put any of that on my car because I live in New Jersey and I don't need another reason to be targeted by the police, especially when they themselves don't know the arbitrary laws that are in the state. And that's sad.
Oh,
but there's so many of them.
That happened recently, right? That they got.
It happens all the time. I mean, to the ridiculousness of. There was a document guy. I don't know. Of course, there's names for people who collect documents. This guy was collecting documents from the
documentarian.
Okay,
I just made that up. If not,
okay, it's better than my document scientist. So, he was collecting stuff from the American Civil War time period, and he purchased some letters from a guy, and the guy said, "Hey, I have a flintlock from that era." He's like, "I don't even think it works, but I know 100% it's from that era, and I'll just throw it in for the same price." He was like, "Because nobody in my family, wants to continue this, and they have no interest, and you do." So this guy's a retired school teacher. He got the stuff, threw it in the car. He didn't expect to get the handgun, if you want to call it that, the antique piece, and he threw it in his glove compartment. Well, he was all geeked up about his little paperwork that he got, which is what he's into, that he forgot about the handgun. Got pulled over, I don't know how long later, and went to reach for his driver's license registration, and in there was a rag that this flintlock pistol from the 1770s or earlier was wrapped in. And long story short, he ended up getting arrested over it. The police officer let him go that day, but the prosecutor wanted to make some kind of point, and they had him arrested. And he had to go through everything, including hiring lawyers uh, to um, to get those charges dropped. And the prosecutor was still trying. He was holding it up because he wanted to get a ballistics test done to see if it was used in a crime. He had the audacity to say that. And the guy's lawyer said, "Well, trust me, if it was used in a crime, everybody involved's been dead for 200 years."
That's ridiculous.
Oh, and by the way, since the guy was a retired school teacher in his 70s, you get convicted of a felony, they stop your pension payments. Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Well, anything prior to 1899 is not considered a firearm, not regulated.
Except in New Jersey.
But New Jersey, really?
Yes.
Wow.
If I can't through the mail purchase a flintlock or a percussion cap black powder revolver or black powder rifle and have it sent to me personally. It has to be sent to an FFL. I have to have a firearms ID card. And I think, I might be wrong with this, I might have to have a pistol purchase permit also. But for that very same item, I can drive into Pennsylvania and buy it across the counter and bring it back.
Interesting. Maybe they thought it was John Wilkes Booth's gun.
Yeah, right. Well, they know who did it. And again, everyone's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. That's freaking ridiculous, man. New Jersey.
I was on a podcast with G Webs and some other people last week, and somebody said, "I don't know what it's like being in a place like Connecticut or New Jersey," and I'm like, "It's horrible, because anytime you leave with your firearm, there's a chance the cop won't know the law and put you in jail. Done." Or in Jersey, this is a 9mm round. You're gone. You're gone. If it's in the car, and you're not heading to the range, and let's say because I know some people that do this, they leave their firearms ID card in their range bag, because you always, if you go to the range, you take it. And now you're in the car with no firearms ID card and a single round bouncing around in your car, you can go to jail. Handgun round. Rifle round's fine. 50 cal round bouncing around in the back of that, it's okay.
That's crazy, because I got probably have loose rounds in my car. Anyway.
I went to the range to shoot clays, came back and did the pocket dump, and of course there's 5 rounds of 12 gauge laying in my pocket. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I didn't dig those out.
Yeah, I mean that happens a lot when you come back and you start pulling out spent casings and stuff like that. So New Jersey's just dumb. I mean, you got some dumbass laws up there.
Well, they have it there. Of course, we all know firearms laws were started off as being racist. I mean, that's what they were. They were to stop the people they wanted to stop from being armed. And then it just became, make sure all the citizens are disarmed by just making it dangerous or annoying or really frustrating to become a legal gun owner. And just throw every obstacle you can think of in front of them. Oh, it's a 15-round magazine? Okay, now we made it a 10-round magazine. They were going to make it 7 rounds. They were going to make a 7-round magazine, and it's like, well, I guess all we have are 45 government models now. I mean, what?
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. So that's what we live with. That's why we fight like we do. We have a small, compared to other states, Second Amendment advocacy groups here. They're small, but man, are they hardcore. It's like one of those small countries that had a guerrilla movement. And it's like, yeah, but man, are they deeply embedded.
New York firearms, New Jersey Firearms Coalition is one.
New Jersey Firearms Coalition? New Jersey Second Amendment Society.
Okay, New Jersey Second Amendment Society.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was. They had a.
They have ANJRPC, which is Association of New Jersey ANJRPC, New Jersey Association of Rifle and Pistol Owners, or Pistol Club, something like that. Yeah,
That's the NRA one, right?
that's the NRA one, and then we have Alexander Rubian's NJ2AS, which is New Jersey Second Amendment Society, and we have CNJFO, which is Coalition of New Jersey Firearms Owners.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Great guys trying to get legal carrying in this state, because what they do is deny everyone. They're with a justifiable need, and no one has justifiable need. Like if I said John Crump threatened to kill me and he shot at me 7 different times, 7 different locations, I'd like to get a carry permit to stop John Crump from killing me. They deny it.
Well, they would be like, well, dude, the dude tried to kill you 7 different times and missed. You're not in any danger.
Yeah. They told one guy who carries large amounts of money because he runs he's a landlord and he does a lot of cash. And he was like, yeah, I'd like to be able to carry on me because I carry a lot of cash. Everybody knows when I come to collect, I'm collecting cash. And they said, well, we looked at how much you made and you make enough to hire a security guard. So no, you don't need one. Yes, they should determine not only that you make enough, they also should dictate whatever enough is, but they should dictate how you spend it.
Well, New Jersey is borderline communist, so.
Yeah, and that border keeps slipping further and further into communism as I live here. It's frustrating because it's like, what's it going to take for you people to wake up? Like, because I'm looking at the thing with the mask, and it's not even consistent. See, that's my problem with it. Well, among other things, but the arbitrariness of it. Restaurants are at 25%, but other businesses are at 50%. Ranges can be only 25%, and they haven't opened up gyms yet.
All right, so your guys are a little bit behind us. We're at 75%. Everything's open.
Oh no! Well, the reason he hasn't opened up gyms is because one gym in one part of Jersey decided to ignore him and open up on their own. So now every gym in the state has to pay. He's a tyrant. He does it out of just pure nastiness because he can, not understanding what he's doing is probably ensuring, one, that he's not going to be reelected, but 2, that he has no coattails for another Democrat to ride in on.
Yeah, there is a interesting thing that goes around where people say, "Oh, you guys always talk about tyranny. Do you really think the United States can slip into tyranny?" I'm like, I can show you examples right now around the country where it's actually happening.
Yeah, especially cities, and it's not even large cities. It's like, what was it? What town in Mississippi? It was one I've actually gone to. I don't know if it was Tupelo or Jackson or Meridian, but one of the mayors just decided, yeah, you won't be able to buy firearms and ammunition during COVID. They were like, you can't do that. You don't have the power to do that. Yeah, tyranny, like that.
It's like in Virginia, there's a Virginia law, no matter where you stand on the statue issue, there's a Virginia law that says that localities can't remove statues. It has to be voted on by the state. Well, the mayor of Richmond declared the statues a public health emergency and removed it.
Mm-hmm. They got rid of Robert E. Lee's statue?
Yeah. Because it was a threat to public health.
Yeah. And see, my problem with it,
no matter where you stand on the statues,
that's overreach.
How the hell are you going to argue that's public
That's
health?
overreach. And the funny thing is, people are so dense to go, well, I didn't like the statue anyway. Yeah, I'm like, hey, jerk off. Hey, jerk off. The next thing that you might like might become a public health emergency. And now you're going to be looking at people that wanted to keep the statue up going, well, aren't you going to help us? And they're like, nope. Whole Foods is a public health emergency.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just like people are just so dense when it comes to it. It's like it's not about. Like I got an argument. They're like, "Well, I don't like the statue." It's like, well, it's not about the statue. It's
Hmm.
about saying something so ridiculous.
Like ridiculous to the point you can't even explain it in a cartoon.
Yeah, it's
Like SpongeBob's makes more sense than your explanation. That's a problem.
it's like it's public health, and all these Democrats are like, "Oh, okay, I got
Uh
it."
huh.
It's like, wait, what the hell?
And see, I know you didn't ask, but I'm telling anyway. My stance on the statues is they should stay up because they at least instigate a conversation.
Well,
Who's that? Well, let me tell you who that is and how things ran and how long it lasted. If you actually want to have an intelligent conversation, and it's not even about political party, it's about how the United States has changed and grown and become better since that time, but also how people can be split apart on an issue when most of them didn't even own slaves, but they're going to fight for it. And I'm like, dude, there's a lot there to unpack. Oh, we should put them in a museum. No one goes to museums.
I,
Stop lying. Dude, if museums could make money, they wouldn't need to be propped up by our tax dollars. Disney doesn't need to be propped up by tax dollars. King's Dominion doesn't need to be propped up by tax dollars. They can make money.
King's Dominion
Museums,
does take a lot of tax dollars.
really?
Yeah,
Well, they should put in air conditioning because that place is freaking hot. That's all I remember from growing up in Virginia when we went to King's Dominion on school trips. Like, this place is hot. Why is it always hot?
yeah, yeah, man. But the Whitewater Canyon cooled you down. You know, I agree with you. If you, I been to Europe a lot, and if you go to Eastern Europe, you know, you see statues of the communism, and they keep it up as a reminder of communism.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have concentration camps up. They didn't tear those down.
Well, I told somebody the other day, if you see a statue of somebody on a horse, that person was a racist. So could we just stop trying to compare any statue? Oh, we're going to tear it down because those people are racist. Pretty much any statue of somebody sitting on a horse, they're racist.
And I mean, I don't get the tearing down of statues. They tore down a statue of Frederick Douglass.
Well, he was a slave. So, he was obviously forced slave. I don't know. Again, I can't make it up. I can't figure it out. And what I really think is just an attempt to erase history. Just one symbol, one thing at a time. And then it doesn't take much to go through what few books you do have, and stuff is online learning now. And you can just slowly get rid of history so people can't learn from it.
Well, I'm not even sure if it's just that, because out in Seattle or Portland, they they burned down and and tore down a statue of an elk.
Elk are racist. I hope you didn't know they're the worst racists in the animal kingdom. If you look at the little freaking, if you look at their antlers, there's a bunch of them. It's like K, 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 just all down their antlers. It's there. You just have to see it. It's like clouds. You can see what you want when you look at them.
So you're saying that the racist in the country is Frederick Douglass if he was riding an elk.
Most racist thing ever would bring back the ghost of Robert E. Lee.
An elk.
The South would actually rise again if Frederick Douglass rode an elk.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They also want to. They have a big move to get rid of the Star Spangled Banner because Francis Scott Key owned slaves.
Yeah, but I don't see them burning their money because they're covered with slave owners. Covered. I don't see them all going to Bitcoin. Just say it.
Yeah, and one of the things they want to replace it with, one of the the leading songs that they're pushing is "Imagine" by John Lennon. a song to communism.
Hmm. I don't even know what it is. I just look. I mean, because I know Imagine. I know this is supposed to be this great song, but I'm one of those few people that will say publicly I don't like anything the Beatles made after they broke. Any of the Beatles made after they broke up. I like the early Beatles. Everything else, kind of like I don't like. Um, but
Talk,
it's ridiculous. It
eh,
meant something.
talking about racist stuff and like outrage, the Redskins are changing their name.
They still have a football team.
They still have a football team.
Has it won anything since I was like a kid? And what is it? Doug Williams was the quarterback.
No, no.
Mm-hmm. Nobody cares who they changed it.
What? Here's the thing. They put out. They were like, okay, these are the names we're considering, and the Redskins are so stupid that they didn't patent in any of the names.
Okay.
So a guy from Alexandria took the list and went or
Trademarked it. Yeah.
and trademarked the whole list. Every
Smart
name
guy.
on the list.
Smart guy. Opportunity.
How do you overlook that step?
Because they probably never, ever, ever, ever thought they were going to change it from Redskins, and truthfully, they shouldn't. I mean, look, these people only have power if you buckle to them. It's that simple.
We've given them a lot of power, though, man.
That's what's happening. You're giving the power away for the sake of false activism. Just like all the companies that continually email me and talk about how much they care about diversity, and even YouTube was talking about diversity and racism when they sent me to my creator page, and I'm like, yeah, if you're worried about diversity and racism, why don't you quit like blocking my videos? You know what I mean? That I talk about Second Amendment advocacy and civil rights. Because you want to highlight African American creators, but you're shutting me down every chance you get. I can't even see comments on my own YouTube page.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Rhonda Uzel, and she's like, they want to do all this for the black community, but Rhonda Uzel from Uzel versus the city of Chicago. But when I went to DC, none of the Democrats wanted to meet with me.
Yep.
You're like, I wonder why that is. And I responded back with, because you broke the narrative.
Oh yeah, you destroyed their narrative. Now they have nothing to say because they can't talk down to you because it'll show them to be the patronizing races that they are, or that they just have nothing. They were told to vote for gun control, and they did because they want to get reelected.
Well, I was talking to the video is definitely demonetized now.
Oh yeah.
I was talking to one of my friends. He's big into social activism and stuff like that, and we're talking about some race-based issues. Basically, he was saying, he said that, we need, as being white people, we need to apologize and ask for forgiveness. And I said, I'm not asking for forgiveness. He's like, you don't feel bad for what happened? I was like, well, I didn't do it.
Wait a minute.
I never owned a slave. I mean,
hey, Tom, apologize to me real quick for slavery, and let's watch the world change. Come on, let's do it. It'll all be better now.
I apologize for slavery, even though I'm 1% black, so it's only a 99% apology.
Things just got 99% better, man. It was like magic. See? Now, if everybody would, I don't know, dude.
Yeah. So here's the point, right? So he's like, you don't know what it is, what it's like to be black in America. I said, well, you're white. You don't know either.
Yeah.
And he said, well, if you had black friends, maybe that you would know. I'm like, so I told him, I was like, what are you talking about, man? I was like, look at my friends list and look at the people I hang out with. What are you talking about? And he goes, well, you have white black friends, not black friends.
Like, oh wow!
I'm like, holy. I was like, do you realize how he's doing this on his comments and all his like little liberal friends are, Yes, you tell him. I'm like,
You,
do you realize how racist that was?
uh-huh. It's like, wow, I don't know about checking your white privilege, whatever that means, but yo, Bert, you just said some racist Archie Bunker type crap right there. Congratulations.
No, and like when I call him out racist, like my friends were like, he's not a racist. He's just stating the facts. Like, well, you're a racist too.
Yeah, because you just told John that your black friends aren't black because you figured out what being black in America means, and it has to meet your criteria. Yeah, it's called racism.
Yeah. I was gonna call up Maj and be like, "Hey, Maj, guess what? You gotta get black on the back because you're not black."
Yep. You're not black because, well, one, you're friends with me, and two, you're pro-fire or you're pro-Second Amendment, and you're a libertarian and not a Democrat. So yeah, you got to go.
I'm like, white black friends?
You have
that way.
racist.
Who literally thinks that way.
Racist.
And it's like, I'm not a racist. I'm on their side. I'm an ally. Like,
Yeah.
obviously not.
No. And it's funny because when you stand up for your rights, you're called names. All right. Regardless. Martin Luther King Jr., communist sympathizer, all those things. Everyone. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, yeah, but a lot of those guys has Marxist leanings and communist leanings. And I'm like, think about what time frame you were in, because most people don't. The time frame you were in is the 1950s and 60s and 70s, but 1950s and 60s. And people are like, yeah, they were communists. I'm like, well, you understand they lived in the country, born and raised, where they were treated as second-class citizens at best. So should they be giant fans of the American dream? Or should they, maybe drift towards countries that communism for the longest time claimed that it was equal and all men were equal under communism. All people were equal. And it's like, well, why wouldn't they give it a chance since communist countries were supporting them? Communist countries were allowing them to come over. Communist countries were, of course, treating them like, who went to Cuba? Williams. I forgot his first name. I have his book right here. He went to Cuba. And they were like, oh, see, he's a communist. Robert F. Williams. Negroes with Guns. And it was like, well, they allowed him to be attacked in South Carolina by groups of white people and tried to make him not be able to defend himself. So, yeah, he ran out of the country and went somewhere where he could actually live. When you call the attorney general for the state of South Carolina and he answers the phone, you're not dead yet. That's a good indicator that maybe you need to leave.
Well, that and there's a couple of different things that is that they never want to admit. George Wallace was a Democrat.
Let me see. Robert E. Lee. Jefferson Davis, the head of the Confederacy, was a Democrat. And the greatest thing is, all you have to do until they change it. Oh, Democrat. Nice. Democrat. But all you have to do is go on a Wikipedia page and go type in his name, and it says political party, Democrat. But hey, the Republicans don't get a ride from me either, because really they won the war and they didn't enforce all men created equal.
Yeah, I agree.
They slacked for 100 years, and I tell people continually, imagine what America would have been like if the equal rights movement would have happened in 1870 and been over with.
You said the equal rights.
Equal rights.
Okay.
Women's suffrage, all of it happened before 1880. Everyone was actually created equal. Everyone had everyone was a citizen 100%.
You know what also cracks me up is people are like, well, if you look to Europe, they're left leaning and they're not racist. It's like, have you ever fucking been to Europe?
Not only are the Europeans racist, they're racist against other white people. Like, you need a scorecard in Europe. and then their racism goes back like 100 years. Just for one I'm thinking of, with Albanians and Turks, or or Irish and the Protestant and Catholic. I mean, like you need like you can't even look at them and figure out which is which. Yeah, they real racist, real deep seated racism in Europe. They've taken it to an art form.
Yeah, and it's not even like undercover racist. It's
No, blatant.
like,
And then go to Asia. It's even worse.
oh my god, man! I went to Asia. I lived in Asia for a while, and when you felt like a black person, people would stop them on the streets to take pictures.
Bro, I lived in Japan for 2 years. How many times I've had my skin rubbed to see if this comes off? I'm like, calm down.
You're right. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's
Calm down, Yoshi. The color don't come off. Now this is really gonna blow your mind. Black, white, black, white.
but when I was in Asia, it was the first time I was over there working for an American company. So a couple of the people over there that lived over there were black, and they were like, just get stopped and take pictures, and I was like, does it bother you? They're like, we're used to it.
You just get used to it, and they call you whatever black person is famous at the time. Oh, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson. No, I'm not Mike Tyson. Thank you.
It is 100% true.
Also, one of the laws when I was there, I don't know if it's changed because I don't care. I left, but when I was in Japan, you could not become a Japanese citizen if both of your parents were not Japanese. So I know Koreans. I know Koreans that are 2 to 3 generations Korean living in Japan, and they can't be citizens of Japan. They can't own businesses 100% in Japan.
You can't own property. Well, you can own a condo, but you can't own a house. It's like that all over Asia.
And if you do start a business, it has to have a 51%. I was told. I don't know if the percentage is true Japanese ownership, majority ownership. You can't own your own business, even if you start it up and work it every day. Friend of mine, his wife was Korean, and yeah, there's no Korean Japanese. There's no Japanese Korean. Nope, not there.
No, Japan is a very closed off culture.
Well, we should have kicked their butts, but communism slowed us down. we needed an island that we could launch stuff from.
And the Japanese aren't actually native to. They're not the indigenous people of the land.
Yeah. Well, hey, nobody is.
You know, the original people in Japan were actually Caucasian.
Yep. Yep. All indigenous people lose. It just sucks.
Exactly.
I don't know a large landmass that has indigenous people that actually won the war against colonialism.
Yeah, exactly. The Brits.
Really? Did they win, or did they just like absorb everybody? That everybody just started making crappy food and
no. The Romans tried to invade.
Well, everybody did. Romans, Stacks, France, Vikings.
But they all eventually lost.
Okay, I feel like a lot of them got absorbed into the society. Even if they lost the war, they were still there, and the British just took in.
Well, I'm saying they weren't. No one like
conquered them.
Yeah, no one gave them smallpox blankets.
Yeah. Maybe they're more savage than everybody else. Don't know. Have no clue. Oh, I'm sure that's construed as racist, what I just said, too. But, well.
The Irish.
Good luck with that. What about the Irish? Again, I'm black. I'm black. You're going to have to give me a scorecard with all that, bro, because that just, I mean, as racist as it sounds, that's white. That's white people problems. I mean, I'm like, I don't know the difference. I'm sorry. I know there's a large history. I've read stuff because of the historical fiction I read, and then I go into, wow, really? That happened? Well, let me read about, what really happened historically. It's interesting, but I don't understand it. It really reminds me of the Star Trek episode where they had the planet of people that were killing each other because of racism, because one had black on this half of the face and white on this half, and the other one had white on this half and black on this half.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember that episode.
Yeah, and no one outside the planet could figure it out, and they blew the planet up while they had two representative of each side, and like your whole world is destroyed, your planet is destroyed. So these two grabbed each other and killed each other because they still hated each other that much that they couldn't get along. And I'm like, Gene Roddenberry was onto something with some of the messages he put out, and racism is stupid because you can't really explain it to someone outside that circle.
A lot of the Gene Roddenberry stories had to deal with racism in a different way. Remember the big controversy with Ahura and Captain Kirk kissing.
Yeah, it was a controversy because he kissed a black woman. Meanwhile, he was having sex with green chicks, but everybody was cool with that. He'd have sex with a green chick. No one said anything. Kissed O'Hara. Oh, Lord. Throw the TV out. They wouldn't even upgrade from black and white televisions to color because it was colored. Nope. Not having that in my house.
Talking about like stupid shit from TV back in the day, Archie Bunker. A lot of I'm actually reading something about how they know they should run reruns of Archie Bunker.
Archie Bunker's probably one of the best things you could run today.
Yeah, but they're like totally missing what the point of Archie Bunker was.
Yeah. Understand something. No one. The newest episode of Second is for Everyone podcast is entitled Let's Race War. That's actually the title of my next podcast. Let's Race War. Because everyone is trying to push that narrative now. They're trying to, oh, we're so different. Oh, it can't be. And I love this one. Kid told me this one day. We're at the worst time in America for black-white relations.
What?
I was like, what? We're at the worst time right now. I'm like, you telling me?
I would think about the 1850s, 1840s.
Okay, how's this? There was the worst time in American race relations from when Hammer's first album came out till 1776. There was worse. It was just the most ridiculous thing. I was like, where do you get that from? Who's telling you that? Oh, it's the worst time to be a black man in America. I'm like, well, I've been a black man in America for a minute now. It's pretty good.
Let me guess. It was a white kid.
Of course it was a white kid telling me how difficult it was being black. I thought it was funny.
Do they not see the irony of them trying to be so anti-racist that they fall into the racist category?
Well, you can't because they're stupid. They can't. They're stupid. Oh, what are you saying? I'm saying they're stupid. See, there's things out there that I'm 49 years old. I've dealt with a lot. Born and raised in southwestern Virginia. Joined the Marine Corps and got stationed in Mississippi, South Carolina, North Carolina, Japan. I might have bumped into racism during that time period in the late 80s, early 90s. I know what it is. I've dealt with it. I've had police called on me because I was simply standing there, and being black, because I never take a break of being black. And they came and like questioned me for standing in a bank. They've questioned me for driving home from my second job. Like all of that stuff continually during my life. And do I go, oh my God, it's the worst thing that could happen? No. I go, well, that freaking sucks. And it's BS. And eventually we'll grow out of it. But it's just something you have to deal with.
What I think we need to do is look at the nuance of situations more. Like what happened to George Floyd, right? That was straight up murder, in my opinion. So that there should be protests. Cops should hang for that. But about a week ago, there was protest of another shooting of a black guy, but this time the black guy was a gangbanger and he opened fire on the cops. So,
Yeah, you should defund the police over that.
but
Here's something, and I really feel this deep in my soul. There are racist police officers because there's racist lumberjacks, racist bus driver, racist astronauts. I'm sure. The thing we should be fighting over or fighting for or protesting is government overreach, because we can all agree on that. We can all agree that they shouldn't have the ability to kick your door in with a no-knock warrant and go, "Oh, my bad. We broke into your house without announcing we were the police. We blew down your front door and we shot at you."
yeah, Breonna Taylor. I mean, that should have been.
Yeah, that should have been a cry to, and it got overshadowed by the George Floyd thing. But everyone was on the same page for the first few days of the George Floyd thing. Excuse me, saying thing is like no, the George Floyd murder. Everyone was on the same page, and again, it was an officer of the law killing a guy because he could. And if we would have stayed there, I think we'd have been a lot better. But they tried to make it a racist thing. And I'm like, you do understand, most people can identify with being cuffed by the police and then just pinned down because the guy wanted to. Like, there was nothing you could do to get him off except physically push the guy off of him. And then all of a sudden you'd have been pinned down and arrested too. So yeah, I think every cop involved in that should go to jail for a long period of time. They murdered a man.
Yeah.
If someone broke into your house and you and your neighbors pinned him down and allowed him to suffocate, you'd all go to jail. You'd all be charged. So I'm like, no, they shouldn't get away with that. It was about government overreach. It was about abuse. It was about abuse of a public servant or whatever the heck you want to call it. But it's something, again, I run a diversity shoot. My whole point of my event is to get people on the same page and bring us together. And that could have, but they insisted on trying to make it a racist issue only. And so far, the only thing they've achieved was taking Aunt Jemima off the side of a pancake box. And Uncle Ben. Yeah. So to fight racism, a black woman lost her job. I'm just saying. That's how these people think.
Do you know why she was on the side of the bottle?
They bought her company, and that was part of the deal, right? That her picture stays on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, helping, tearing down statues, getting rid of Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben.
Yeah, and Uncle Ben was like a famous chef who was on there because a lot of the crap was his recipe, and they were honoring him.
Nope, he's black, and it's racist because crazy people said so.
Well, the families both said we don't want them removed. What are you doing?
Again, giving idiots power, because the companies could have went, don't eat it then. Like Goya. You think the president, the CEO of Goya is going to apologize for backing Trump's Hispanic initiative that he put out?
He already said he's not going to.
No, because they're going to buy Goya anyway. Just like all the people that said because of, what is that guy's name? Kim Kardashian, the one that took a knee during the national anthem. What's that guy's name? With the afro?
Colin Kaepernick?
Yeah, close enough. I'm never watching NFL again. Oh, really? Liars. Almost everybody who said they weren't watching NFL has watched the NFL. And I don't care about Colin Kaepernick. If that's the way he wants to protest, let him protest.
Well, I think he sucked, too.
Well, here's the funny part. Because I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but I don't watch football, so it made no difference to me. When they played colors at sundown, in the Marine Corps, I tried to make sure I was inside just so I wouldn't have to stop and stand at attention until it was over. Is that any less patriotic than the dude taking a knee? Like, oh snap, let me get inside so I don't have to stop. Because when you're driving on base, you have to stop your car and set a position of attention too.
Yeah, you gotta remember, my wife's military.
Yeah, So yeah, she knows people that do it, and she's probably done it herself trying to get
Oh,
indoors.
yeah. Well, one of the things with the Kaepernick situation is he kind of sucked.
Yeah.
And it's not, he didn't get kicked out of the league. He just wanted, he wanted $30 million, which was starting quarterback money. And
For a guy that sucks.
he wasn't a starting quarterback. So like, we're not giving, I mean, that's not even starting quarterback money. That's like top 3 in the league.
How'd that work out for him?
Nobody wanted him.
How much was that Nike contract he got?
Well, I mean, that worked out because then he played it. It was a business decision.
Hey, he did what he did. People want to attribute everything to it. Fine. I see it no harm, no foul. I really do. Let him make his little statement. He's just another famous person making a statement that changed nothing.
Yeah, we heard about Ricky Gervais, right?
Yeah.
He came out again and went after famous people in cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're calling him right wing, and he's like freaking like a left wing atheist.
Well, the funny thing is, they can call you anything. It's what you answer to that counts. And calling him, just like when I was called a Nazi at a protest, I'm like,
Ben Shapiro a Nazi, and he has a freaking yarmulke on his head.
Yeah. So again, they just showed themselves to be ignorant.
But the devout Jew.
Yeah. Well, I'm not devout with my Nazism, but I don't go to Nazi church on Sundays or whatever they do. I just phone it in and send donations.
He's like a devout Jew, and they're like, "You're a Nazi." He's like, "You're a yarmulke."
They're stupid. Again, and they listen to them. Listen, the snowflake thing, I don't like it because it's just usually anyone you disagree with. And you call them a snowflake because we have plenty in the 2A community that are snowflakes. But I can't think of, you're just empty-headed. Right, there's lots of names you can call people that can't think for themselves. And they can't think for themselves. Like, how are you upset because the CEO of the largest, I think one of the largest Hispanic-owned companies in America, said the Hispanic initiative to give more Hispanic people jobs and all the advantages of this particular thing that Trump is doing is good? Oh, you're a racist. I don't even understand how those have anything to do with each other.
Well, it's how to shut down. It's how to shut down conversation without having to defend your point. Is the whole thing.
But it's a swing and a miss because one, the president just shut up. Just anytime you open your mouth and say anything bad about him because he said a particular thing that the president did was good, you're an idiot. I don't care. I don't even like Trump. I really don't. I think he's a jackass, but I think he's done some good things and some bad things, and you have to measure people overall. Would I invite him to my house? No, he's a jerk. I want him to be actually strong on the Second Amendment, not wishy-washy bullcrap. I get tired of people telling, well, his son hunts. Shut up. I want him to be pro civil rights, all of them, and really pro.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do think the media hates him, though.
Oh, the media does hate him, but in hating him, they show their hand. They aren't. They're not impartial. They're so segregated along their bullcrap Republican and Democrat, and it's ridiculous because they really aren't that different. Those two parties, when it comes down to actually getting things done, and I don't know when they were different because again, they colluded in making sure all men weren't created equal post Civil War. They actually fought a war. More dead people, more dead Americans in that war. I think maybe World War One might have exceeded the death toll, but I doubt. Actually, no, World War One didn't.
No, the Civil War is definitely.
Yeah, and still, the principles that they say they fought for, they didn't come through immediately after the war. So no, I trust no political party because they've proven themselves to be untrustworthy.
I just want to say, anybody who donates $5 to Super Chat, it all goes to my niece, will get a patch. Or if you join my Patreon at patreon.com/John Crump, you will get a patch as well. And also pick up my book, crumpy.com/giants. Okay, that's it for the commercial there.
Yeah, I was like, I can't read the comments on YouTube if there are any. I haven't seen anything pop up on screen yet. So,
Oh, there's been tons.
oh, okay, great. Sorry, guys, I missed that. Yeah, I feel that we need to stand up as a people and unite because I really, really deep in my heart feel everyone is tired of this media manipulation, social media manipulation, and all of that. And we're like, just shut up. We're not buying into your crap. You know what I mean? We're just not buying into it as a whole, as a people. We're just tired of
Yeah, it is. People want you to run for president.
it. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because I'm exposing everything. Oh, they're killing me. They're killing me. I'm exposing everything.
Talk about like Trump and how the media hates Trump. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to share my screen really quick, and I'm going to bring up a window here so you can take a look at this. Babylon Bee is the funniest website ever. So it should be popping up anytime now.
Nice. Genius Trump wears mask, causing media to question effectiveness of mask. I love it.
I don't know if you ever watch the I'm not watching. If you ever read the Babylon Bee, it is freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it's like The Onion, but political. I just find it funny because comedy has taken on more meaning than the media, the news media. It's like it's more truth in that than what your 6 o'clock news tells you.
Yeah, well, look at the Dave Chappelle thing when he when he went after Juicy Smollett, whatever his name is, Smollett, and they were like, "Oh, I cannot believe that you would go after him." It's like, why?
Yeah, why not? It's so obvious. It was such, and it's funny.
Did you see the special?
I saw that part and I thought it was hilarious.
Well, you're like, well, what he didn't know is black people were doing a favor because we knew he was lying.
Bro, we knew he was, and I'm sorry, I can't speak for all black people. I'll just talk about the ones I know and spoke to when it happened. We all looked at each other like, that didn't happen. And it was like the day after. We're like, that didn't happen. I'm like,
I loved how he was like, that doesn't sound like something a couple of Trump supporters would say. That sounds like something I would say.
Dude, one, it's funny because all the guys I spoke to, for the most part, were like, "Who's he? Like, who is he?"
Like, do you really believe a couple of MAGA hat wearing guys watch freaking Empire and know that he's gay in real life?
Dude, I was like, Empire? Oh yeah, my wife watches that show. I'm like, and she went, "Oh yeah, he's the gay kid that they got rid of." Oh, they wrote him out of the show. Oh, now all of a sudden he's attacked in 20-degree weather by two MAGA wearing white people in Chicago. And like, get out of here. And they hung a rope around your neck. What? Get out of here. Get out. And sadly, the manipulation, the racial manipulation didn't stop with him. It's going on with the media and everyone else. If you say you don't like the organization Black Lives Matter, somehow you become a racist. I'm like, what? Yeah. I don't trust you. I'm black and I don't trust you because I see where your funds are going. It has nothing. It's not helping one black guy out that I know of. Like how are you helping? Where's the funds going? It's questionable. Yeah. And to question it makes you a racist. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. To question it makes me someone that wants answers. And calling me names doesn't give me the answers I want, but is a dang indicator that you don't have the answers. The answer that you give me ain't going to be kosher.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a fast hour.
Yeah, that was a very fast hour. I just wanted to bring up one picture for you, and then we'll wrap it up. I'm just looking for it. Um, hold on.
It's not two girls, one cup, is it?
Oh,
Kids act your grandparents.
so it's a Photoshop, but it has to deal with Juicy Smollett, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to find it. It sucks. Well, I'll
I,
show you the picture it's based on. Um, Basically, it's this picture right here. Let me bring this up, and it's like, and it's really funny. It's like white supremacists identify who attacked, um, like Juicy Smollett or whatever, however you say the name was, and
mhm.
they photoshopped MAGA hats on them.
Oh, the two. Nice.
That's the two brothers who we
Hmm.
hired. They put MAGA hats on.
That's funny. That's funny. But dude, he deserves everything he gets. He earned it all. I'm kind of upset that everybody has slipped off of the Joe Biden "you ain't black enough, you ain't black if" thing. So I
They
think I'll put.
a pass, man.
What was that?
I don't get how he got a pass on that.
Because he has a D behind his name.
If you don't vote for him,
He has
you're
a D behind. Yeah, if you don't know, then you're not black. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Trump got in trouble, and again, not a Trump fan, but I found it funny that people were upset because he said, if you voted for Democrats your whole life and nothing has improved, what do you have to lose by voting for me? And they were like, that's racist. Uh, I'm like, I got nothing. I got nothing. Again, you're trying to shut someone down, but there's nothing to shut down. He said something that should make you think, but people have gotten allergic to thinking.
yeah, Flying Rich says, Tony, we all know that Chicago is MAGA country.
Oh, big time. Chicago, man. It's Chicago, New Jersey, a lot of these large cities, man. I have no idea what it's going to take to make voters wake up and realize what's been happening for the last 40, 50, 60 years is not helping. It's not getting better. New Jersey got rid of Fat Boy as their governor, who was, dang, I can't even think of Pigface's name. Yeah, Chris Christie. They got rid of him because this new jerk off was going to be so much better. Well, Christie actually served two terms, which was the end of his thing. But they wanted Governor Bucktooth so bad that now we have Mr. Ed as a governor. He just shut down your economy. He promised to legalize weed when he came in, and that gave him some of the bump in the polls. And then he couldn't do it. So the one thing that you jerk offs thought he was going to do, he didn't do, but he effectively pretty much killed small business in your state. Congratulations.
Well,
You've achieved nothing.
right now, who was it? McAuliffe, who wanted to run for governor, is like, I should have ran before because I can't run now because there's two black women that have declared to run for governor of Virginia.
And
So he can't run. Can't run against black women. Apparently, I don't understand it.
because he's, again, oh, what? Wait a minute. Who's McAuliffe?
Used to be head of the DNC.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, because I know the current governor can't run again because you can only run one term. You can't run consecutive terms in Virginia.
Yeah.
It's funny to me because now he passed the one handgun a month law, and I'm like, that was some crap y'all did in the '80s and it didn't work out under Doug Wilder. It was dumb then and it's dumb now.
Yeah. It's like you're like, well, it's going to make Virginia so much safer because we have a crime epidemic. It's like we actually have less crime than 45 other states.
Well, you have less crime. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but again, I only lived in Virginia and grew up in Virginia and was there when Doug Wilder was governor. Did the one handgun a month thing drop crime in Virginia during that time period?
They didn't drop it at
Because
all.
I don't think it did.
It did.
Yeah, so now you just did the exact same thing and you think it's going to change because, oh, that's the definition of insanity. You failed and you're just going to do the same thing over again.
Dem-run cities have fixed all minority issue problems.
Oh, definitely. They're they're havens for black people. We just love it and run all to the big cities because all the problems are solved. They destroy everything they touch because their ideas. My whole problem is this: it's personal responsibility. You're responsible for the things you do. You're responsible for the achievements that you achieve, and you should reap the benefits of that. Maybe if the government wasn't reaching in our pockets so much, and that means everyone, you'd have extra money that you could donate to places. You wouldn't have to work so many hours to make ends meet because you'd get a lot more in your paycheck and you can volunteer for causes you care about without cutting into the money coming into your household. And I don't think that's political party based. I think that's just a human being thing. Get off my neck so I can live. I'm tired of both parties and I'm tired of the American people sitting on their butt like, I can't do nothing. Yes, you can. You can actually get up and go to your town hall like Virginians did from what, November till January?
They're still going.
Yeah, and they scared the snot out of these people because they were like, what do we do now? We only have 20 chairs because no one ever goes to town hall meetings. No one ever goes to city council meetings. And now when you start, they get us scared because they have to, as Mel Brooks says in Blazing Saddles, get off your buddy. You're going to lose your phony baloney jobs. And that's what's happening all across Virginia right now. I can't wait for the polls to come in. I hope all the work you guys done in Virginia, I hope those chickens come home to roost on election day and there's just a clean sweep of anti-gun politicians completely out of office.
No,
because didn't they? That would be just the greatest. Just lose total control and Virginia goes deep red. And a mob comes out and tattoos Robert E. Lee gives your governor a Robert E. Lee tramp stamp. Just running. Just done. Actually, he'd probably like that. Never mind. He is a racist. He does wear hoods and blackface. He probably does. It's like, well, you want to cover up this Nathan Bedford Forrest on his back?
Yeah, probably.
He's got them all. All the Civil War Confederate generals are tattooed across his back.
Well, here's a crazy thing. If out of the three main generals of the Civil War, you have Grant, Lee, and Jackson, right?
There's one most people know. Yeah, no one knows Longstreet.
Yeah, no one knows Longstreet. But here's the thing: out of those three, and no one knows McClellan either. But out of those three, two were abolitionists.
It wasn't Grant. I mean, because Grant just he never thought on a deeper level about anything.
It wasn't.
And I know Lee, again, being a Virginian, being raised there, did not want to fight fellow Virginians, and that's pretty much the reason he became the head of the Confederate Army.
Well, so that's the reason why Jackson did too. But they were both like deeply religious and not.
Yeah, and not to make excuses. I'm just saying, dude, if you're going to talk about facts, talk about facts. I mean, if it's going to make a difference, if you're going to paint these guys as horrible slave owners when they weren't. I mean, truthfully, history is seldom black and white.
No, it's gray.
Yeah, history is seldom that Mickey Mouse crap they taught you in school. I mean, it's just not. And people were good. People have ideas. And also men were men of their time. You can't expect people to be woke like they are today. Because guess what? They were their version of woke. They were their time frame's version of woke.
You
I
mean
don't even like using that.
woke?
I don't even like using that term woke because it's just a crap term now. It means absolutely the opposite of what people think it means at this point. But yeah, they were socially conscious of their time, but they did what they did. Was Lee a hero? He was a general and a traitor. He was a traitor. Sorry, he led an army that tried to split America apart. That's some treacherous activity. Uh, that make him a horrible human being? No. As a kid growing up in Virginia, listening to the history they taught us in school, pretty much he was a hero from what they said. And Grant was a douche. Well, guess what? History is a lot of gray. History's a lot of gray. I mean, Grant was a drunken douche, and Lee was a traitor. Makes no difference if he was a nice guy. If he would have won, what would have happened? Just saying. So does it make a difference if he was cool?
Yeah, exactly. I think we both agree on that.
Yeah, I know. Just some people want to defend him, and I'm like, hey, he had a lot of great principles. He really did. But if he would have won, what would have happened?
Flying Rich,
So-
thank you for the donation. I will get you out a patch. Go ahead over to Real John Crump on Facebook or Instagram me and just give me your address. All right. I think with that, we're going to wrap it up since we're both in agreement in our big debate of white versus black dividing race in America.
Hey, well, I'm just going ahead and say I'm really happy to be one of your black-white friends. I appreciate you having me on the show. I'm gonna go watch some hockey reruns now because again, it's just part of being black-white.
Dude, hockey's I can't wait. Hockey, it's almost time, but hockey is like the best sport in the world. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. If you watch hockey, you gotta love it.
I wouldn't know anything about hockey except nothing. Nothing. I think the Mighty Ducks or something. A movie from the 80s. That's the only thing I know. Slap shots. That's all I know. But I just think, what was that?
Slap Shot was a good movie. It's Slap Shot.
Yeah.
Slap Shots.
Hey, I'm new at this black-white thing. I'm learning.
Yeah,
I'm learning how to be
like you're gonna be watching NASCAR and hockey.
I'm gonna watch NASCAR wearing my Dukes of Hazzard T-shirt and cheering for the one black guy who's scared to come out of the garage because there's nooses hanging on it. Bubba something or another.
Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, there's nooses hanging from my garage. There's one hanging from mine too. What the heck? They all trying to kill us.
Yeah,
of course, I use mine to close. I use mine to close the door, but whatever.
I mean, yeah, I don't. The thing is, NASCAR investigated that, but if you looked on Twitter, people knew exactly what it was when.
Yeah,
like people
again
when took pictures of all the garages with the pull ropes, and they're like, "This is probably what he's seen."
Yeah. The thing is this. Again, let's race war. Let's just keep pushing this narrative that this is the worst time to be a black man in America and race relations are really poor. I'm like, no, they're not. They're not even close. I called my mom and asked her because my mom was born in the mid-1940s. I said, hey, Mom, no preamble, no discussion. Hey, Mom, race relations in America at the worst time in American history? So after she stopped laughing, she gave me some examples of her childhood just when they integrated the schools.
You mean
I did not know.
There's never been a governor. You mean there's no governors right now standing in?
Exactly. Well, here's what happened in Virginia, and I did not know this. My mom said, well, when they went to integrate the schools, they closed the black schools before they allowed the black students in the white schools. So, according to her memory, school was shut down and black kids couldn't go until the next year.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So she was talking about because she works with special needs kids in schools right now. And she said, yeah, they're talking about, oh, well, they might not open school back up. And this has never happened before. And my mom's like, no, it happened to us after Brown versus the Board of Education. And they shut down black schools and didn't open and didn't allow black kids to go to white schools for a while because they had to put the bathrooms in and everything else. But they closed the black schools first.
What don't let those facts get in the way.
I'm just saying.
You're feeling them.
And I didn't know that, and I wouldn't have known that until I asked my mom that question. I did know that. I just assumed the black kids went to the white school the next day. Silly me. Just I didn't know how it would work. But I really didn't think they would actually shut the black school completely down.
But you got to admit that the race relations is probably almost, if not as bad, almost as bad as when black people were forced to pick cotton in fields.
It's just the most ridiculous crap ever. And then to hear white kids tell it to you. And I'm like, you know I'm older than you, right? You know I might have seen some things.
And then try to lecture.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, is to try to lecture is like, wait a minute. You're trying to lecture to this guy about...
Well, the funny thing is their fallbacks. Well, Snoops said what you said is wrong. I'm like, really? Because again, I lived it, and that's a website.
Oh, Snopes, yeah.
Snopes, whatever his name is. I don't care.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the rapper.
No, I don't care what he says either.
Like, my friend that I was talking about earlier was like, you don't know what it's like to be black. I'm like, you don't know what it's like to be black either. What are you talking about?
I just find it funny that everyone wants to know what it's like to be black. I'm like, I don't know. I've not been anything else. Sorry. I've not been anything else, but I know I'm happy to be me. I love the life I live, and there's racism in it. Okay. But there's racism against my Asian friends. There's whatever. Again, I'm not a wordsmith, but there's anti-gay sentiment. There's anti-mixed couple sentiment. There's people that are misogynist. Everyone has a cross to bear.
There's tons of bigots out there.
Yeah. How's this? Stop looking at obstacles and start looking at opportunities. All right? How's that? Put your big boy or big girl panties on, pull them up, get to work. Make a difference. You don't like the way the world is? Change yourself. Change yourself and make those around you better, and quit worrying about what the government does, because, well, the government sucks at civil rights and civil liberties. Always has, always will. The people make the world better, not governments.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. So we got to get going because I don't have a plug here, and
I got a 4:00 wake up.
Yeah.
So you can find me at diversityshoot.com. Simon Says Train on Instagram. The second is for everyone on Facebook. I actually have the next Diversity Shoot booked, and we had to do it in Pennsylvania because New Jersey sucks and they hold ranges down. So my next Diversity Shoot will be held in Easton, Pennsylvania at the Heritage Guild on August 20th. Be there or be square. I'll have further information up on diversityshoot.com, and you'll be able to buy tickets on Eventbrite.
Awesome. Tomorrow night, Wren versus DC. Brian Wren himself going to be talking about the case that he filed that made DC shall issue.
Nice.
Their DC issues. So tomorrow night, and then after that, I won't be back until the 29th, which we're gonna be having some Latin flavor. I guess you could say.
I wonder who you're gonna have on.
Who do you think?
Could it be Puerto Rican Pistolero and Latino Locked and Loaded? No.
Yeah, you kind of got it.
Okay. Her?
Yeah.
They're awesome. I just listened to their first podcast. Listen to it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, they're both going to be on.
Awesome. Love those guys. Oh, and shout out to Beth Alcazar. Loved her appearance.
Yeah, good. Good person. Good people.
Go good people. All right, man. Get to bed. Get your beauty sleep. Whatever it is, voodoo that you do. Talk to you next time, man. I appreciate you having me on.
So I'll be up for a few more hours.
Kids today, and their lack of sleep. I'm old. Can't do that anymore.
You're like 3 years older than me, man. 4 years older.
So
whatever.
Yeah, but they're black years. They're longer.
Like dog years, but
All right. Peace out, bro.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. This is John Crump, and I am out of here. See you tomorrow. Patreon.com. John Crump. And Guten Nacht.